Reading in English as a beginner can feel really discouraging. You open a book and boom, 10 new words on the first page. You try to remember them, but they're gone 5 minutes later. You want to guess the meaning from the context, but even the context doesn't make sense. So, let's start with the best kind of book for beginners. And no, it's not Shakespeare, no, it's not Harry Potter either. Here's the truth: the best book for English beginners are the ones made for English learners. And that brings me to book number 1, Oxford Bookworms Level 1 to 3. These books saved me. They're short, simple, and designed to help you read in English, not translate word by word. They use a limited number of vocabulary items, like 400 to 1000 words per book, depending on the level, and they actually tell stories, real ones. Some are based on classic like Dracula or The Elephant Man, but written in a way you can follow and enjoy. You won't learn fancy expressions or slang, but you'll get something better: confidence. You'll finish a whole book in English, and that feeling, that's what keeps you going. Because let's be honest, reading half a novel and giving up because it's too hard doesn't really feel good, right? And when you finish one of these stories, you'll think, wait, I just read an entire book in English. I can do this. That feeling matters more than any grammar rule. If you've ever come across the Oxford Bookworm series, or if you've already read one, let me know in the comments. I love to know which level you tried and which story stuck with you. Before we go to the next book, I just wanted to mention I have a whole playlist called Books and Beyond, where I share more book recommendations based on your English level, plus reading tips to help you get the most out of every page. Check it out. I think you'll find something you'll love. Let's move to the second one: English Short Stories for Beginners by Ollie Richards. These aren't just stories. Each one comes with a mini lesson, so after you read, you also get an explanation. For example, why the grammar was used this way, what that phrasal verb meant in that sentence. It's like having a kind teacher sitting next to you while you read. The stories are fun, sometimes even a little silly, which is perfect because you won't feel bored or overwhelmed. It's not a textbook. It's like practice with a smile. And that brings me to something important. If you want to learn English with books, make this your rule. If the book doesn't make you feel curious, drop it. We don't read books to torture ourselves. We read to feel, to learn, to be inspired. So, yes, sometimes you'll pick a book and think, this is not for me. That's okay, drop it and pick another one. The right book feels like a conversation, not a punishment. Now, my third recommendation is very personal: Matilda by Roald Dahl. Yes, it's a children's book. And yes, it's written for native speakers. And no, it's not too easy for adults, but it's perfect. The sentences are short, the humor is lovely, the story is magical, and most importantly, it brings back the childhood feelings, the one where you get lost in a story and forget everything else. This was the first full novel I read in English, and I'll never forget how proud I felt. I kept telling myself, wow, I'm actually doing it, I'm reading. I honestly believe that one of the best books to start reading in English is your favorite childhood story. It's not just about the language, it's about the memories. When you already know and love the story, reading it in English feels more familiar and less intimidating. You understand the emotions, the plot, the characters, and that makes learning feel natural and even a little magical. If you're thinking of starting, try the book you adored as a child. And I'd love to hear from you. What was your favorite childhood story? Leave a comment and let's share some nostalgia together. Now, if you like a little more structure while reading, here's a gem I discovered later. Penguin Readers Level 1 to 4. Similar to Oxford bookworms, but with different titles and topics. What I love is they often include modern stories or even biographies, people like Malala or Elon Musk. So, if you're more into real life stories than fictions, this series might be for you. They also include little quizzes and questions which help you reflect and remember. And again, these are made for learners. Now, before I share the fifth book, I want to say something. You don't always need a real book to improve your English and improve your reading. I know this video is about books, but hear me out. Sometimes the best way to start reading in English is with short text. For example, Instagram captions, blog posts, even subtitles, because if you force yourself to read something you don't enjoy just because it's a book, you'll end up hating the process. So, don't be afraid to start small. Tiny steps are still steps. And finally, this one is for those who want to improve vocabulary naturally. Side by Side by Stephen J. Molinsky and Bill Bliss. It's not a storybook, but it's perfect for beginners who want to improve grammar and vocabulary in context. It uses dialogues and mini stories that build naturally. You read and speak at the same time. It's also perfect for those who don't want just to read, but also say what they learn. Remember, language isn't meant to be memorized, it's meant to be used. And that's the biggest reason I believe reading books can change your English, because books give you words and context, real sentences, real feeling, not random flashcards. But none of this works unless you do one thing: read consistently. One page, two paragraphs, it doesn't matter. The point is to make reading in English feel like brushing your teeth, not a big dramatic event, just a habit. So, if you've been scared to start, let this be your sign. Pick the book that feels right for your level. Make a little tea, sit down, open the first page, and know that with every line you read, you're building a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.